Inside a paper factory, a worker approached a large roller machine that was still in operation. In an attempt to adjust something near the moving rollers, he placed his hand too close. The rollers immediately pulled his hand into the mechanism. What seemed like a routine task became an emergency in seconds, showing how dangerous it can be to interact with machines while they are running. This incident reminds us that machines with moving rollers should never be handled while in operation. Lockout-tagout procedures, proper guarding, and clear safety training are essential to prevent such accidents. On a busy production floor, large rollers were running as workers carried out their usual tasks. Everything appeared normal, and the fabric moved steadily through the machine. But then one worker stepped closer to the rollers. To adjust the fabric, he placed his hand directly on the moving material, a simple action, but a critical mistake. In an instant, the rollers pulled the fabric tighter, and with it, his hand was drawn toward the moving mechanism. The powerful force of the machine made it impossible to pull back, turning a routine adjustment into a dangerous situation. This incident reminds us why roller machines must never be touched or adjusted while in motion. Workers should always stop the machine completely before attempting to align fabric. Tools and safety devices, not hands, should be used to guide material. Lockout-tagout procedures, protective guarding, and clear training are essential to prevent such accidents. By slowing down to follow safety steps, workers protect themselves, their co-workers, and the production line. Inside a busy production area, employees were focused on their tasks while a forklift was transporting materials. Everything appeared normal, but as the forklift moved through the path, a worker unaware of its approach attempted to cross. The forklift came too close and made contact with the worker. What started as an ordinary moment instantly became a serious safety concern. This incident shows why clear communication and situational awareness are critical in factory settings. Forklifts should always use horns, lights, or alarms to alert nearby workers. Pedestrian walkways must be clearly marked, and workers should be trained never to cross without making eye contact with the operator. By following these precautions, the chances of such close calls can be greatly reduced. Inside the factory, a crane lifted a heavy bucket filled with molten metal and positioned it above a container. The operator began tilting the bucket to pour the contents, as usual. But suddenly, one of the bucket's supports gave way. Instead of flowing neatly into the container, the molten metal spilled out and splashed across the factory floor. In an instant, the entire work area turned into a dangerous environment. This incident highlights why equipment used for molten metal must be inspected regularly and maintained without compromise. Supports, hooks, and tilt mechanisms should always be checked for wear before lifting a load. Inside a textile factory, a female worker was preparing to operate a large roller machine. She started the rollers just as she had done many times before. At first, everything seemed normal. The fabric moved smoothly, and the machine appeared to be working correctly. To ensure the fabric was aligned, she placed her hand on the material, guiding it from one side to the other. This was something she had done often, and it didn't seem unusual. With the machine running steadily, she slightly increased the roller speed to continue production. After that, she again tried to place her hand on the fabric, moving it across to make sure it was flowing without issues. But in that moment, her hand moved too close while the fabric was feeding in. The rollers caught the material, and with it, her hand was pulled toward the moving mechanism. The routine task she had carried out countless times suddenly turned into a dangerous situation. This incident highlights a critical reminder. Roller machines must never be adjusted or checked while they are in motion. Even experienced workers are at risk if they rely on routine rather than safety protocols. Machines with rollers should always be fitted with protective guards, and workers must be trained to use lockout-tagout procedures before making adjustments. Additionally, operators should use tools, not hands, to guide fabric while the rollers are active. In any factory, safety must come before speed. Following proper procedures ensures not only smooth production, but also the well-being of every worker on the floor.